Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over. And the Cubs have finally won it all. 8-7-10.
Welcome to Club 120. The ultimate roundtable for diehard Cubs fans and lovers of all things sports and lifestyle.
Strike three, you're out.
Hosted by Neil and Nate, two former baseball players and coaches turned loudmouths with strong opinions and even stronger banner. Get ready for quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and the occasional heated debate. From analyzing Cubs on-field action to diving into off-field drama, no topic is off limits. So grab your glove, pour a drink, and pull up a seat at Club 120, where the banner's quick, the takes are hot, and the Cubs always come first. Let's get started.
Play ball.
Thursday. It's 120. That means it's time to look good, feel good, and play good. I'm Nate. That's Neil. Let's step into Club 120 and turn it up. Neil, what's going on in Wrigleyville today?
Well, we have a closer for the time being. It looks like Ryan Pressly will be that guy for the Cubs after Jed struck a deal late last week with the Astros. The Astros send over Pressly and a bag of cash, $5 million, in exchange for a minor league arm in Juan Bello. But while we're on the topic, let me ask you this. If this would have been one deal, if the Cubs would have made a 3-team trade all at one time, the Cubs get Kyle Tucker, Ryan Pressly, plus $5 million in cash in exchange for Isaac Paredes, Cam Smith, Hayden Wesneski, and in a corresponding move, send Bellinger to the Yankees, carrying that $5 million bag of cash. And in exchange, we receive right-handed pitcher Cody Poteet from the Yankees. Do you feel like that's a trade that Jed wins?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, that's a vacuum scenario, right? Or an NBA trade. I don't know. That's what it sounds like. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, if you put it over 2 months, that's really what it was, right? So the real question, did everybody get what they want? So, I mean, it's pretty close. Astros, they have problems, but nobody really cares. The Yanks needed a name and a left-handed bat. That was vanilla, no splash, check. But Jed wins. Jed wins. Here's why. He trumped us. He said exactly what he wanted to do this offseason, and he went out and did it. He wanted a 5+ WAR guy. Here's King Tuck. He wanted a premium closer with some serious experience. How about Pressly for 33% off the list price? He paved the way for Shaw. At the big league and the minor league levels, there goes Cam Smith. So there went the guy pushing him. And I'm pretty sure he lowered the payroll in the process. So, yeah, fly the W, Jed. Fly it. I'm pumped, man. Let's go to Mesa right now. I'm ready for spring training. You know, you spent some time there, though. It's our first topic. What's the best complex out there in the Cactus League?
Yeah, so let's do it. Let's rate. So I'll take Arizona. I'll rate my favorite 3 complexes in Arizona, and then I'll give you my worst, and then you do the same with Florida. So number 1, Salt River Fields, the Rockies complex, the view, the staff, the complex, it's unbelievable. The only thing bad out there is the baseball, right? Like I mean, they have like a little river that runs through the intro, the way into the park. Like, I mean, it is pristine. It's awesome. And the view is amazing. So that's number 1. Number 2, Sloan Park. And it probably gets number 2, right? Because it's near and dear to my heart, but it is, I mean, the things I love about it are the concourse. I love the way that it looks like historic. It's new, but it's still got that same historic feel to it that Wrigley does. And it does have Chicago food in the concession stand area. That's awesome. And then it has a nice little food truck area. So that's going to be pretty high for me. And then number 3 is the Peoria Sports Complex. That's the Padres and Mariners home. They share it. I'm not big on shared complexes, but I get why they do it. But Peoria Sports Complex has done it right. It has a really wide concourse, awesome food truck area. The left field beer garden is awesome. And then I'm going to give you my worst. My worst is Goodyear Ballpark. It's a ways away from all the other ones. It's the Reds and Guardians. So also, super generic, very, very simply done, just like the teams that play there. So that's going to be my worst out in Arizona. You got a minute left to take us out to Florida.
Absolutely. Hey, I love Florida, but I don't love spring training there. It's more fit for a week-long road trip with some guys and some golf than it is just straight baseball and catching as many games as you can in a few days. But let's go quick. Let's go Roger Dean, Jupiter, Cards and Marlins. It's the OG of this group. They opened this thing in 98, and it kind of paved the way for everything that you see out west in Arizona. Everything you need under one roof, and it's great. Good fan experience there. TD Ballpark in Clearwater, Blue Jays. It's only a couple blocks from the beach, so you can basically hear it. And it's half Canadian, so it's super clean, and Jays fans are fantastic. And the number 1 would be Lee Health. That's going to be in Fort Myers for the Twins. Number 1, it never rains there. And that's kind of a joke, but it's not. It could be raining, pouring at JetBlue 15 minutes away for the Red Sox are at, and it's not raining at Lee Health. It's unbelievable. Some weird weather pattern. But that doesn't really do much. At the end of the day, I'm just going to help you stay away from the worst part, okay? If you're heading on I-75 down south, leaving Sarasota, and you see Port Charlotte, and it says home of the Tampa Bay Rays, just keep going to Fort Myers. It's not worth it. Not worth it. So, but, we're close. We are close to spring training, and we are right around the corner. And I'm looking forward to it. So tell me a little bit about Craig Counsell. Looks like he's got some staff in place into year 2. Are we in a good spot? Napoli's gone. Harris is gone. What do we know about Craig's new offensive field generals?
Yeah, well, so I was a Willie guy. I liked Willie. I liked his aggressiveness. So we'll see what's going on out there with these new guys. But Quentin Berry, previously a first base coach for the Brewers, under Counsell. He'll take over as the new third base coach. So hopefully he's aggressive. We'll see. Jose Javier is the new first base coach. Javier joins the Cubs. Most recently was the defensive coach for the AAA affiliate of the Yankees. So I don't know. I don't know what we'll see on the bases, but hopefully Quentin Berry is just as aggressive as Willie was.
There you go. Waving Willie, right? I tell you what, there's a couple more I want to put a note on here. And it seems like Craig might be moving other pieces in place. One of them is Mark Strittmatter. He's now the bullpen coach, which he was a field coordinator, which basically means he came over with Craig and they didn't know what to do with him just yet. So he's going to be in the bullpen behind the bricks there. And Casey Jacobson moves from the minor league pitching role to a major league pitching role on the same type of deal, assistant. But he's got a lot of insight on the minor league arms that they've been keeping down there. So as we see these guys come up, I think it's going to be a really good fit there next to Craig. And we see these kids coming down the tunnel and trying to figure out what to do with them, how often we can use them, what we've seen from them in the past. So that's going to be good. One more note, keep an eye on this. The minor league head strength and his assistant. So Kevin Poppy and Mark Wiseman moved up from the minor leagues. They are now the head of the big league strength and conditioning program. So let's keep an eye on that for some of the small tissue injuries, things like that. Day-to-day soreness, see how they handle that. And and check some health trends as we go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think, I was a little hard on Craig last week, right? And I think to have his own staff in there
Mhm.
year two, I think we're going to really see what Craig's all about this year. I hope anyway. I have high hopes, so we'll see. We'll see where it takes us. So this next segment, Hope They Fly. So this is all about the prospects, right? You got a couple prospects you got your eye on, and we're going to push them out of the nest this year, a little PCA Michael Bush style, and see what they got. Let me hear it. Let's have it.
Well, yeah, I mean, fresh off of PCA and Bush, they locked in, right? PCA was a little more straightforward. Bush kind of took a couple detours around the infield, it seemed like, for no real reason, but they're here and they've got their spots. So here's three names that we all know. We all see them at the edge of this nest, and they're going to push them out. And it's going to start in spring training in a couple weeks. And I really don't see much of them backing down from this approach for these couple of guys. And quite honestly, you want that as a player. You really do. You want that clear path. Give me the shot and let me run with it. So here it is. Matt Shaw, welcome to the show, right? Here's the hot corner. We're just hoping you're almost Ron Santo, right? Like, it's swing away. Let's see what happens. Jack Neely, he came over from the Yankees, and that was part of that deal last year. And with the size and the stuff, the only thing that we're trying to figure out here is if he can miss major league bats and compete in the zone with that slider. That's it. If he can do that this year, you can see, much like Porter Hodge we did last year, we found out that he can, and he'll stick. And there might be a really good spot for a very long time for that kind of guy. And last and certainly not least, a guy we're going to hear a ton about over the next 6 weeks, quite honestly, because we just aren't sure yet on what we're going to do. Is Cade Horton a future rotation guy? Everybody wants to say so. Where are you going to put him? How do we get them there, right? How do we let these kids cut their teeth, but we still got to win 90-plus games? So, man, I think he gets the Ben Brown treatment this year, a little bit of a yo-yo. Few starts, few closers, or a few bullpen appearances. We don't know. But I tell you what, I'll give you a little prediction here. I think Ben Brown and Porter Hodge are dogs, and I think Cade Horton joins him this season in that dog pound, because I think there's a lot of hunt in that dog. So that's going to be a key role here in the spring as we come out of it.
No, I like it. I think we need to have shirts made. Nate's Dog Pound, and you either get in or you get out. I mean,
there's a few more. Well, you know what? Let's put a tab on that, because that's coming up. I've got a few guys that I've seen some stuff from, whether that's down on the farm or live and in person up and around, that we've seen a little bit from, and I want to see some. Let's do a little dog roll call and see who's out there for these young guys coming up. In the meantime, though, let's play a game. Let's play Kiss, Kill, and Marry.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's change it up a little bit. Okay. This one, we're going to go with send one down, trade one, and keep one. So basically sign one right now to a long-term deal, trade one, or send them down and keep them around for a little longer.
Okay.
Okay. Here's three right off the bat. Keep it simple here, easy. Ready? Thompson, Merriweather, and Killian.
Oh man. So this one's, gosh, it's so hard right off the bat. Okay, so keep one. I'm gonna go Merriweather.
Okay.
I know that's probably a surprise. Look, the one I'm waving by to is Thompson, right? Like, I've seen this movie, man. I've seen it, and I don't want to. I'm just tired of watching it. Like, he can be so good, and it can be so bad, and I love the kid. I got to move on at this point. So Killian, that's going to be. We're going to still date him. We're going to keep one. We're going to keep Merriweather.
Okay.
He just needs to miss some more bats. That's all.
Yep.
Okay, so I got 3 for you. Ready? Here we go. I'm going to make it just as hard for you, although I'm not going to make it hard for you because we all know your love affair with Ben Brown, but we're going to go Assad, Wicks, and Brown.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
I don't think you're ready for this. Are you ready? Ben Brown goes back down for this year. You know why? Because I don't have 150 innings for him, and he needs it. So Ben Brown goes down. We're gonna still date him. I'm gonna give him a big old smooch. I'm gonna send him to Iowa.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna let him just eat everything up, like just tear everything up in Iowa. And then you're number 3 next year. Okay.
That does shock me. You're right. Okay.
And long term, I'm gonna sign Assad because he's a swing guy, and we could probably get him for a really cost-effective rate for 3 to 5 years, and really put him in a position where, listen, we always have a guy. He gets into trouble. He gets himself into trouble, but he also gets himself out of trouble, and he's shown that he can get this done. Jordan Wicks gives me the best value on the open market. Whatever I need on the other side, I can put Jordan Wicks out there and probably get whatever I need as far as a bat or something. So I'll trade him. I've got one more, and I'm going to let you just absolutely go with this one here because
you only got 10 seconds, so you better name.
Real quick. We'll go over Casey, Alcantara, Canario. Go.
Easy. Casey long term. Alcantara is who I'm dating, and Canario. I got to DFA him.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sorry.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that is.
So, let me ask you. So, as we go on to the next one, let me ask you this: have you booked those Tokyo trips yet?
My gosh. So I was looking yesterday. 2 tickets, right field line, like maybe 5 spots from the foul pole. $3,900 each. $3,900 for 2 seats. And that's not including flights and hotels. I don't really know what we're doing here. I don't. If you're good and you're from Italy or Japan, don't you find your way to America somehow? For any. That's any major sports. What are we doing? We don't need to go to Brazil for the NFL. We don't need to go to Japan because Shohei's here. No. This is about a fat check, and I'm tired of the ruse, honestly.
No, I'm 100% with you, and I'm going to tell you right now, I've been hammered on this for my stance on it on the internet, but here's the deal. Like, I don't like it at all. I don't like the shortened spring training. I don't like the travel. I don't like losing 2 home games. As a season ticket holder, I'm paying more than I paid last year for season tickets, and I'm losing 2 home games. Explain that one. I don't like coming back from playing 2 games that mean something, and not just 2 games that mean something. You're playing the freaking Dodgers, only to have to fly all the way back home. You're not flying home. You're flying back to Phoenix. You're going to play 5 more spring training games that don't mean anything. Make that make sense. If the MLB wants to grow the game, arguably the face of the game is already Japanese. Like the biggest. I mean, what are we doing? Like, we have 2 Japanese guys on our roster. I think the game's doing just fine over there.
Clearly, and Sasaki this year, right? You know what I think? I think Rob needs to really worry about these TV deals because apparently we have to go around the world barnstorming the game of baseball instead of putting it on TV so that everybody can see. I can't see home games here in Dallas for Rangers just to watch casually. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I think they got a long way to go. But I tell you what, Tokyo, here they come. And speaking of that, Ichiro Suzuki got in the Hall of Fame, along with his Cooperstown class of Billy Wagner and CC Sabathia. You have any issues with this class, Neil?
Oh, well, yeah. No, I mean, do I have any issues with the class? No, the Hall of Fame class, I have no issues with. Biggest issue is the one writer who didn't vote for Ichiro. Like, I mean, Tell me how that happens. Tell me how it's a unanimous with the exception of one writer. Like, can we find that guy? I mean, and if we do find him, here's what I want. I want him to answer two questions. I want to know, why would you not vote for him? Like, what's your reasoning behind not voting for him? And number two, the most important question is, what in your mind would it take to vote for him? Like, what else did he have to do? Tell me what he has to do that he didn't do. That, like, was his outs above average in the outfield not enough for you? Like, what was it that in your mind wasn't even worth a vote?
Well, I saw some Jason Stark posted the other day on The Athletic, and he said the Baseball Writers of America, the association, has voted twice in the last decade to make all votes public. And the Hall of Fame directors are the ones saying, no, we're not going to do that. So it's real. Like they want to do this. Jason Stark posted a lot of these. You see these writers putting it on Twitter, and they post it out there on X. This is who I voted for. But they're saying not going to do it. So my guess is it's the same guy that didn't vote for Griffey, and it's the same guy that didn't vote for the other unanimous guys, and it's his bit. And at this point, I think even some of the writers are about to just call him out, even though it's anonymous. But it's crazy. The other two guys, though, let's, statistically speaking, they're there. My issue here is there's a long, long list of guys right now that are just sitting there that have the credentials to be the unanimous type, except for something. And I don't know. I don't understand it, because I want to get fired up about the Hall of Fame because this is our history and we like it. Unfortunately, I can't get fired up unless there's some more unanimous guys that are right there. And I think CC and Billy are great, but I think there's some guys in line that we'd love to talk about first. I would personally.
All right. Well, we got just a little over 2 minutes left. Let me ask you this: when it comes to Ichiro and getting in the Hall of Fame, let's talk about the controversy around, do his hits that were not in Major League Baseball, should those count?
Well, I at the sake of not opening too much of a can of worms, because I'm going to be really honest and get a caveat right away, I don't think Bauer's Mexican League stats should count if he comes back.
That's
but
fair.
but the Japanese, Baseball Association and the league that they put out is really, really, really good. They're best to come over here and do well. And they earn their money. Some aren't as much as we thought, but they're fundamentally sound. And the one good thing about the Japanese players is that they are fundamentally sound, and they're going to help you win ball games.
Right.
That's the bottom line. And they're not gonna crush you. They're not gonna crush you in the public. They're not gonna crush you on the field. They're gonna get the job done. And that's a great thing. His stats, though, I mean, good Lord, what would he put up over there? 7,000 hits? Come on. He's doing that over here, almost 3,000 hits, but he spent what, 10, about 5 or 6 years over there. He had to be 25, right? You have to wait till he's 25. So he spent 7 years there. Jeez, man. Yes, he's unanimous. And yes, those count. They can pitch. You want to go hit Sasaki? Let's go find out.
Right.
The bigger issue here, Neil, is the history in the building that's being left out. Guys like Ichiro and CC and Billy have a story to tell. There's a lot of guys that have a story to tell that you walk in there as a casual baseball fan or not, depending on how old you are. There's an entire generation of players, the best players from that generation, that aren't on the ballot anymore.
No, I agree.
So here's my deal. I think we take the Hall of Fame and we put a wing. Okay. There's still the CCs and the Billies and those guys, and that's a good class. It's not the best class it could be this year, but it's a good class. And you take I'm going to call it pride and prejudice, because quite honestly, the thing keeping those people out is a pride and prejudice of a few old men that haven't played the game. Let them tell the story. Let's get off the high horse and let's get on with telling the story of the great game, boys.
No, I I fully support that. I fully agree. I know we all know who we're talking about, and I think it's time maybe we I don't know, change it up a little bit. But hey, that's our show for this week. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for spending part of your Thursday with us. And find us we're on all social media platforms. If you got topics you want us to hit, drop us a note. Let us know what we should talk about. If not, hey, we'll be back next week.
This has been Club 120. Neil and Nate have practically spent their entire lives doing something centered around baseball. And with these guys, you're going to get quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and, yes, heated debates. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can find us on all social media platforms at Club 120 Show. And, of course, the website at www.club120show.com. Until next time, go Cubs, go!